Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today, guys, is a wrap-up. And I haven't done one of these in a hot minute. And I scrapped all the other ones that I've got like months or whatever. Whatever. This is going to be a wrap-up for both August and September, because I didn't actually read a ton in August, and I did pretty well in September.
Do you remember?
So I'm just going to combine them and talk about the books that I read or listened to, and, you know, maybe the stuff I'm playing. So, you know, without wasting any more time.
Let's get down to business.
So I actually read like a lot in the last couple months, but a lot of it's on my PlayStation with both a visual novel, Steins Gate, which really is gonna, that's my read of the months, is the Steins Gate visual novel. I have a review of it right there if you want to check that out. Visual novels aren't for everybody. Everybody doesn't want to watch something on the computer or wants to do it on the PS5, whatever. But Steins Gate Elite was absolutely my watch of or read of the month with I give that 5 stars easily. It was, I'm still thinking about Steins Gate. So good. And then I played another set of video games that's like 1-point-something million words per game. The Trails of Cold Steel games. And it's insane. There's just so much reading in them. So I did a bunch of reading, but not, you know, what you would call traditionally reading, I suppose. So I consumed 9 things, and of those, I had 1 2-star, 2 3.5 stars, 1 4-star, 1 4.5 star, and then 4 5 stars. Though 5 if you count Steins Gate. So I think it's official. I think it's safe to say that the 5-star strumpet, if hasn't returned, is at least in the vicinity. So, I mean, it was good. I liked most of everything I read, and the thing I didn't like is fine. It was like 8 pages, 10 pages, or something, 12 pages. I don't know. So let's go ahead and get it started. I'll start with least to the thing I like the most. 2 stars is Green-Eyed Viper by Brian McClellan. It's a Powder Mage short story. It takes place sometime before Promise of Blood. I only have one more story / novella before actually reaching Promise of Blood, and I can finally read this series. Unfortunately, the one that is right before it is 50 pages of Taniel, which I don't want to read. I don't want to read 50 pages of Taniel. Anyway, Green-Eyed Viper, it's 12 pages, and it's a story. It's neither good nor bad. It's just there. It telegraphs what's going to happen from literally the opening paragraphs. You know exactly how it's going to end. And it has nobles who hate commoners, because that is a staple. And it has people doing things for reasons, and people talking that I suppose someone somewhere talks. Anyway, it's not very good, but it's also not terrible, and it's only 12 pages. So I read it. Something happened in it. It really doesn't matter. The only kind of relevance I think that it has is that it shows that Tomas's wife died. So next, on the 3.5 stars, I had Boosh, Pulling the Wings Off of Angels by KJ Parker. This is an upcoming novella, and I thank you to NetGalley and the publisher for an arc. I was able to read an e-arc of this. I always read the e-arcs of Parker's novellas. I am curious when another one of the political military books are going to come out, because the last 2 novellas have been this kind of existential, metaphysical, philosophical, religious quasi ones. And this one, like, I love Parker, and I love the way he writes. I love his writing style and his narrative voice. And this book is about some people who kidnap an angel. They kidnapped an angel and pulled his wings off so it can't get away, and they learned from Saturninus, because our boy Saturninus is back, how to build like a safe room that God can't see. And so they basically hold the angel hostage and try to ransom something from God. And it's written in the standard KJ Parker style. But my problem is, I don't know if he is just getting like angrier or more bitter or something like with every passing year. Because this one almost just reads like it's just like a screed. Like I understand KJ Parker. You made it very clear in many novellas and novels prior to this that you don't like religion. I understand. Like, I get it. I'm not certain you need to continue to hammer it home as much as you're doing, but this one is just like it's just laden with such vitriol that, like, I mean, it wasn't for me. It's not for me. If you two, like, really hate religion, then read this book, and you'll find an ally. It's just not for me. It just loses sight of, I like, it just kind of becomes a thinly veiled, like, diatribe to me. So, definitely not my favorite. At least I understood it, unlike Long Game, so it's not my least favorite novella yet. But it's not one I particularly enjoyed, except for the stereotypical humor and writing style of Parker. So, you know, a not good Parker book is still better than a lot of things that I read. So, not great, but if you like Parker, you should absolutely read it. Next, 3.5 stars, we have Boosh, The Alloy of Law, or as Jimmy dubbed it, The Alloy of Mid. This book is fine. Like, first of all, these covers are terrible. Like, they're just, like, they're terrible. Like, look at this. If you haven't seen it, look at that. Oh, it's not going to focus. Stupid camera. There we go. Like, just look. So this book got better as it went. The first kind of half of it, I didn't care. I just thought it was dumb. It reads like a cartoon. And everyone is like, well, it's not, you can't treat it the same as Mr. One. It has a different vibe. Yes, it does. But it's a cartoon. And it reads like an instruction manual. I just can't. There's less of this later in the book. Glory be and the saints be praised. But early on, I just can't even with Sanderson and telling me how the magic system works. I just can't. Like, please stop. Please stop. Anyway, it is a mystery, which I like. It does have trains, which I like. It is kind of this 18th century West, American West type feeling, which I like. So I like the setting, and I liked the plot. I just didn't care a whole lot. It was fun. It was fun. And and the main characters, Wax is a meh, and Wayne is insufferable. But he's less insufferable later, and Wax remains kind of just the human version of vanilla ice cream. So it's fine. I'll have a full review if you want to yell at me, you can watch that full review. That full review will be coming out. It just was not my favorite thing. But I will be continuing with the series. When I do that, still remains to be seen. Next we got Boosh, Downfall of the Gods, another novella by K.J. Parker. So this is another one of the religious ones, but this is the first one that takes place kind of like far away from where all the other ones are taking place. And this is more of kind of like a Greek pantheon type thing. And it's also the first one that takes place from a female perspective. The main character is female. She's one of the, I guess you can call them the Olympians. And she doesn't like her family. So she is, hangs around on Earth, and her favorite musician has been killed. And so she brings this mortal as penance. She refuses to forgive him, so he's going to suffer eternal condemnation in hell if he does not do this for her. They're going to go to the underworld, and they're going to bring him back. And this one is better than Pulling the Wings Off of Angel, but it still has this Parker hates religion, like I get it. But it's about forgiveness and repentance and happiness and what all that is, and about destiny and fate. And so there are a lot of really good things in this one, and it certainly explores the concepts of might and might making right, and what is right, and the difference between right and justice. And I always love an exploration of justice, which is what kind of elevates this one. They're constantly saying, through the gods, all things are possible. But then there's always like a coda to that, but some things are more possible than others. Which is like, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. So I like more of what he explores in this one than in Pulling the Wings Off Angels, and the ending is just like, okay, what? All right, but so it has an ending that I didn't suspect, but it's pretty good. It falls somewhere in kind of the middle, and toward the top of the pack of the kind of philosophical exploration ones. Next, 4.5 stars, Boosh, and Then There Were None, by Agatha Christie. And this one it was good. It was really good. I'd never read this before. I thought I had, but I had not. It's really good. It's extremely British.
Curse you, you cad!
And, it goes really fast. And everyone's kind of hanging around. I say.
You mean?
Oh, usual, sir. And, people start dying one by one, and we have to figure out why. And I did not figure it out. I did not figure out the mystery. I thought I did. And Agatha Christie it's actually really creepy. toward the end, where I was genuinely creeped out when reading this at night. So it is an excellent mystery where you're on an island, no one can escape. Really, really good. It is the first Agatha Christie novel I've read in like forever. I've read some other ones, but I have no idea what they are. I've forgotten. It was long, ages ago. So I definitely will be reading more Agatha Christie. It didn't blow me away. The end, I mean, the back half read super quickly, but it just took me some time to get into, I guess, adjusting to Agatha Christie's writing style. It didn't blow me away, but it was really, really good. So that's what kept it from being 5 stars, really. And now, beginning the 5-star books, my 4 5-star books, we have Boosh, Empire of Exiles by Aaron M. Evans. I have a review of this up, so you can go check that out if you want more thoughts on it. But this was another arc, so thank you to Orbit for the advanced copy of this. And this is another murder mystery with a really cool setting and a really cool magic system with a main character who is dogged, not to the point of annoyance, but he is just like, hey, he's like tugging on people's shirts, hey, what if we go and solve this mystery? Like, what if we did that and stop what we're doing? Hey, guy, like, why don't y'all shut up and let's solve this mystery? I love Quill. If you like books about mystery or archivists, because the main characters are all archivists, or mostly archivists, there's a detective also, or conspiracies, or attempted coups, things like that, this is for you. You should definitely go and pre-order that if any of that sounds interesting. But I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I loved the slow unfolding of the mystery, the breakneck conclusion, and the suspense of where the next book is going to go. So 5 stars for Empire of Exile. It is out November 8th, so definitely pre-order that if that is something that sounds fun. Next, we got Boosh, Mightier Than the Sword. And this one is 5 stars. This is probably my second favorite novella after Purple and Black. It is so good. It again, we have an unnamed narrator. It's similar to Purple and Black. He is kind of put in charge of stopping these bandits or pirates that are burning monasteries. And what Parker does with that phrase "mightier than the sword" is really great. The exploration of power and words and the power of books and tomes and history is just really, really good. It is top-notch writing. It helps that it is in the vein of that the historical, political, military style books that he writes, which are my favorite. So I mean, it was bound to be great. But like, be warned, there's some hard stuff to read in like the first 12 pages. There's something that just comes out of nowhere that is just like, wow! It's really, I am squeamish. So it is like cringe-inducing, but not in a saccharine way, in a like way. So Mighty Than the Sword, really, really good, with an ending that is incredibly foreseeable. I didn't see it, but poignant while also really bittersweet. It's a good ending. It's a good ending, but a standard Parker ending. Next, we got Boosh Stoner by John Williams. And I read this. I listened to this on audio, and it was great. And I was recommended this book by Jimmy, who thought that I would really, really like it. And this is probably my favorite book I've read that I don't think I really liked. But it is so good. John Williams' writing is fantastic. It's beautiful without being dense, evocative without being flowery. And it is just a heartbreaking story of a schlub of a teacher, an English professor, that from the first paragraph. And I'm definitely going to have a full review of this. The first half, I kind of struggled with caring because I didn't like any of the characters. But chapter 10 has something that is very close to my heart. And from then on, I was hooked. And it is one of the most sickening, intense scenes where no real stakes are on the line, that, oh man, it just gripped me and had me for the rest of it. And it's depressing and evoked an existential crisis in me, because am I Stoner? Is that my legacy, to die and, people be like, oh yeah, I knew that guy, and that's really it? Ugh. It is really, really good. I can't wait to read Augustus next month by John Williams as well. If Augustus is also good, if I get John Williams' writing, his prose, with Emperor Augustus, I think Augustus may end up being one of my new favorite books, but we'll see. And then finally, my favorite book of the month is actually a reread, which I don't think is fair, but if you're not counting rereads, then it's Stoner. But otherwise, Purple and Black. I read this to kind of get out of a funk, get out of a reading slump where I couldn't finish any books. I knew I loved this book, and it was just as good the second time. I knew everything was coming, and it was still just as good. This exploration of power and can you do good by doing the wrong thing, and the kind of people that should be in power, and loneliness and friendship and the things that form friendships, and it through letters between the emperor and his friend from college that he has made a general out in the hinterlands to stop this bandit army that has arisen. It is so good and so moving and so poignant. I love this book, and I loved it just as much the second time. So absolutely fantastic. Definitely my favorite novella that I've ever read, and definitely my favorite of Parker's novellas for sure. So guys, that is what I read in August and in September. Do you remember? I think I'm back to normal with my reading in October, so hopefully I'll just have a normal reading month. So what was your favorite read of September? Do you remember? Since we'll just talk about September. What was your favorite read of September? Do you remember? Have you read any of these? And if you have, tell me what you thought of them. So guys, that is it for me for today. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.